Welcome, guys. We're just gonna wait a little bit, just some time, and then give people time to get and log in as well. Yeah, just give some people time to log in so that we can actually confront our subject today. So today is another beautiful day, another live, which I really want to share with people. Just talk about some investments, and yeah, so we have a lot of things to share about. So yeah, so share the live and and just make people know how we're going actually to keep this movement going. So today is Sunday again, and I want to talk about actually what is the best investment you can make. Is it buying a house or buying a what? An apartment. What is the best to do? Is it buying a house or buying an apartment? So we're just waiting for people to come uh, so that we don't repeat the same thing again. So we can see, just waiting for people to come so that actually I can start the subject. The subject is what is the best to do, the best thing to do in terms of investment. Is it to buy a house or is it to buy an apartment? Between a house and an apartment, what is the best thing to actually buy? So that's what I'm actually going to talk about. And yeah, I hope this subject will help many when it comes to actually making those choices, because sometimes it's really something which you need to think about thoroughly before you actually make a decision or buy anything. So for the moment, let's just share the live, like the video and share it across the board so that many people can actually get in on the live. So hopefully we hope many people are going to join, and those that are joining on the live, may you please share the live, please share the live. And we're going to talk about buying a house or buying an apartment. What is the best options to do and how can you do it? So this the things that we're going to do. So if you're there, just like our videos and share it across the board. And yeah, we're going to share about these things. So I'm just waiting a few minutes and waiting for the people to get in before we can actually start facing those subjects. But in the meanwhile, please give us a like and share this video if you don't mind. That would be really appreciated. So thank you very much if you can do that for us. So if you can do that, please share this video, share it across the board before we actually start. We start our subject today. It's all talking about how can you buy? Should you buy a house or should you buy an apartment? What is the best thing if you actually starting? So what is the best thing to do when you are buying your first house or first apartment? What is the best way to start? So please give us a thumb up. Give us a thumb up. We want you to give us a thumb up. Please share the live as well, so that we can have as many people, and then we can share these ideas. And please do not forget to comment and give us the comments what you think about this live that we're doing these days, and showing you across the board what is going on. So we're going to talk about uh, buying a house or an apartment. What is the best thing to do when actually you are going to enter into the housing market? What is it to do? What is the best thing to do, and what are the advantages? It all depends on where you are. That is true, but yeah. So I hope that you can share this video, share this live, so that we can have many people who are joining us. Anyway, it's been 4 minutes now, and we're going to 5 minutes. So I'm just going to start now. Between buying a house, it all depends on where you are. Between buying a house and an apartment, it all depends on where you are, and what costs of other costs that follow with. I'll, I'll talk first about the house. The house, it has other things. If you're living in Norway, for example, you have other costs which follows with buying a house. If you buy a house, you have what we call felleskostnader, or communal, I can say communal cost or communal expenses that comes with it. For example, the rubbish, the water, the sewage system, all that comes with actually when you buy a house. So when you're buying a house, you need to think about those things because there are expenses which comes not with the bank, but there are expenses which comes on their own. So it's additional costs which comes with it, and you have insurance as well, which you actually have to have when you're buying a house in Norway or I think almost everywhere in the world if it's not in some part of Africa. So you should really have insurance as well. And but those communal costs like water, sewage, and the rubbish, those things you have to pay for. So those things are costly as well in terms of when you are living in just a house. So you need to think about that. So they can be, for example, let's say, if your mortgage you're paying, let's say 20,000 or $2,000. So you have to pay, for example, every 6 months, you have to pay, for example, 9,000, which is actually $900 in 6 months. So it's actually much more cheaper if you have a house. Um, so you have those additional costs which comes with, which is sewage, water, which is also those things you have to pay to the municipality in which you live in. So in the municipality, it depends also from municipality to municipality, and that those expenses are really different. So in terms of a house, I can say that according to my experience, when you have a house, those expenses, the communal costs, expenses, I can say the municipality expenses are much more cheaper than when you're living in an apartment. So in an apartment, you have to pay every month because you they have to take care. You have kind of a common, it's kind of an organization, and in that organization, it's the organization which takes care of everything, repainting the house, taking care of actually the environment, cutting the grasses, removing the snow. All those are costs that comes with it. So if you're living in your own house, you have to remove your own snow, you have to cut your own grass, you have to do all the painting alone, you have to take care of actually the house. All you have to be done by you, so you are responsible of everything that goes. So you actually spare some money in terms of that than living in an apartment. But uh, when we're talking about an apartment, which is actually a different thing because you have to actually pay for those, because the apartment will not allow you to cut the grass because it's a kind, you have an organization which takes care of that. So there is an organization which takes care of that, and you have to pay every month. So in an apartment where I was living for a while ago, you had to pay at least $350 $350, so which is 3,500 Norwegian crown, or even much more because it was getting closer to 4,000 Norwegian crowns. So it all depends, and in some places you pay even much more because you can pay even up to 9,000 Norwegian crowns, which is approximately 800 $900 dollars. So you have to pay that actually for you, for the municipality to cut the grass, to do the painting, to do all the different works that are in the community. Those things have to be done. Why? Because you cannot do them alone. The municipality has to do those things for you. So that is one thing. So when you are actually considering to buy a house, it's actually much more cheaper to buy a house than to buy just an apartment. Because in a house, if you're strong physically, of course, you can do all those things alone. But I can say, as for me, I'm a young man, but I can do those things, but they can be very demanding because removing all those snow and cutting the grasses, it's a lot of job if you don't have a lot of strength. So what most elders or elderly people do here where I live in Norway, they actually they live in houses when they're young, but when they get older, in their old age, they sell their houses and they live in the apartment, because even though it's actually expensive to live in the apartment, they can pay for that. They can make the payment for that. But most of the people living in the house as well. it depends on where. Because if you're going to live in a big town, it's very difficult for you to find houses, and they become much more expensive, you know. Houses, they become much more expensive. And in houses, we are talking about a detached house, or maybe actually you can have also, I'm talking about detached house, which can be much more expensive. But apartments are really much more easy to find, and they're much more cheaper in that sense. So you can actually find apartment much more cheaper, and they are very cheap for you to take care, because when you're coming to take care of the apartment, you just take care of the inside. So there is that organization which takes care of the outside. It can be the painting, it can be the roof, it can be the cutting of the grasses. It can be everything that needs to be taken care of outside of the ordinary. The municipality, the what, the community takes care of those kind of things. So that's one of the things. So really, I think that it's much more profitable to buy a house if you're strong, of course, because then you get to spare your own cash and your own money in that sense. So it's that's what I think, and that's what I've done actually according to the cost. So let's say you have a big house, for example, and then you have to actually take care of it. How much can it cost? It depends. It depends on how much do you have as a credit from the bank, because most of the people, we don't have the cash to buy everything, you know, cash, especially in the Western countries, because you don't have that kind of money. So you have to have mortgage, and then mortgage depends on your mortgage, on the ability for you to pay back the credit to the bank. And if the bank actually sees that you have that capacity to actually repay back, so the banks give you the required mortgage. Depends. So and then you have to pay let's say for 35 years or for 40 years. It depends on how you agree with the bank, but mostly, most of the time, it's between 30 and 35 years that you have to pay the mortgages. So and the more, actually, the better you pay the mortgage as well, so you can actually lay your house as a liability, so that you can acquire more loans as well. So, houses are acquired as loans here, and the best thing you can start with is actually start buying. I would advise you, between buying a house and an apartment, I'll advise you to start with an apartment, because it's actually easier. You can learn how to take care of the inside, how you can actually take care of those small jobs, take care of those small works in the house, and you learn all those things, how it works. So when you have acquired as well, because it's actually much more cheaper, when you have acquired much more knowledge and much more money, you can actually buy a house, and that can actually lead you to a greater step. So it always comes step by step, step by step, and you don't have to start with bigger things. You can start with the cheaper, and then you sell it, you resell again, you sell and you resell again, and then you get the profit, you reinvest again. That's how people do, they buy a cheaper house, and then when they buy the cheaper house, they sell it at a higher price, and then they buy another house again, and then they resell. So you keep climbing the levels, and things keep on changing. So I think that's how you do it. So you start with the cheapest, you start where you can start, and then at the level where you are able to start, it depends all on your work, on what you do, and you have to check with the bank what they can do for you where you are. And then when you find out how much credit the bank can give you, and then from there you can actually, if they give you, for example, $1 million, then you can check in the neighborhood what is the condition of the house that you have there, and if you can just buy it without doing so much work with it, or you can buy a cheaper house if you have possibility, which is not in a good condition, and then you can fix it, you can redo it, and then you can resell it again, and then you buy a bigger. So it all depends on what you actually like. But many people start with an apartment, and then they change, they sell it after getting a lot of money, a lot of profit. They reinvest again in a house or in a much more expensive apartment, and then they reinvest. They keep reinvesting again, and they keep getting much more money. So please like our video, share please, so that we can have much more people joining us. And if this is your first time, just give us a like, and please don't mind to subscribe as well. Share the video, and we're just talking about the advantages of having a house and the disadvantages of not having a house. Which one would you choose between buying a house for your first time, or buying an apartment? So what is much more profitable? How would you like to start it? So as I said in the beginning, it's better to start actually buying an apartment, something which you can afford, something which is cheaper. And then from there, you can actually learn how the system works, and you can actually sell it. And then you can buy something which is much more expensive. You reinvest again the money into the what? Into the system. After reinvesting the money into the system, you buy a bigger house, and then you resell it again. You keep climbing the level. So it's all about starting slow, starting small, but having bigger dreams, and really dreaming big. So please give us thumbs. I can see people are following, but I haven't received any like. So that's how we do it, and that's how we actually go by it. We start with what we can afford according to how much credit we can get, and then we can actually earn much more every day. It's all different. So we actually 21 o'clock here in Norway, and then it's the sun is just shining. You can see the sun is shining. It's really beautiful. I'll just show you a bit how it is there. So it's really beautiful. That's the sunset. And yeah, we're talking about what is the best thing to do. What is the best thing to do? Is it to really start uh, investing? Where can you start investing? Is it in a house or in apartment? So anyway, it all depends on what how much money you have as well, and what you would like to do. So so for me, I would really advise you, if you have a lot of money, or if you don't have a lot of money, start with buying a what? Buying an apartment first. Buy something which you can afford. If the apartment is something which is really cheap in your area, please buy it. If it's the apartment is really something which is really expensive in your area, then don't buy it. Then I would advise you to actually buy a house. So it all depends on you, and it all depends on the markets as well. So you have to kind of study what is really in your market, and what can be done best. So you have, first of all, you have really to study your market, see what are people doing in your market, what kind of apartments or houses are cheaper in your market. Study the market and see if you can get something which is much more cheaper, and then you can actually renovate it, work on it, and then increase value on it, because the best houses that you can get is something you can increase value on. So if you're gonna get something which is very good, and then you cannot add any value on it, then it becomes very hard for you, because you have to search for something you can actually add value. So that's how business works. Look for something you can add value on, because if you do not add value on anything, then it becomes just a waste of time, and then you waste a lot of you don't have a lot of good things out of it. So that's one thing actually I think about that. Look for something which can add value. Look for something which can make you move 4 steps, 5 steps forward, and look for something which is really benefitable and profitable for you. So that is how you can actually prosper yourself out there in businesses. So do not just do something because somebody did it, but do something which can be profitable for you in the longer term. Because if you do not study the market, if you do not study the environment in which you live in, then you will never achieve anything. So study the market is very important as well. So what I'm giving you is just some advices on how you can actually approach the thing and how it's I have done it according to my experiences. I started with an apartment and then I improved on it, I sold it, and then buying a house, improve on it, and then buy another house. So it's all like that. You have to actually start where you are, see what is the best thing that you can do, and how can you actually take this approach, and where can you go? Because what I did is not necessarily what is best for you to do, but I think if we can learn from one another, we can actually go very far because we are living in different environments, we are living in different places, and different experiences as well, and different lives there. So and maybe some other people do not actually live in places where they can get credit, so or they can get actually that loan. So it's all depends on what are the environment in which there are so many layers of things that you are actually living in there. Because some other countries, if you have to buy something like a house, you have to pay 15% benefit or a return. 15% you have to pay to the bank. So I think that is really high. In most of the countries now it's between 5%, 3%, 5%. Yeah, but 3% is long gone. So now the interest rate is at 5, 6%, and you're going up to 12. But in some other countries, you have interest rates of up to 30%. When I think of interest rate of 30%, that gives me a headache. But the thing you can do is maybe budget money and do not wait to actually get the money from the bank if the interest rate is so high. So budget your money and see what you can do, and start maybe with land, and you start from land and then you start planning yourself. You get some architecture, some help here and there, and then from there you can actually build something massive and something good, and then from there you can sell it and then buy something better. It's just step by step. It really does not take a lot of things. Just be patient with yourself. Do not rush. The market is there and it's not gonna die, but you have to actually work slowly on those things. So do not rush. Everyone, I mean, you're never late. People, you shouldn't think that you are ever late. There is no, you can never be late in life. But the thing is, you have to actually maximize your profit, your benefits. You have to maximize them, and you have to make sure that you every give everything you get has to go in the investment that you're planning to put. So that is very important, I think, having consideration of that and thinking about that. So for me, really study the environment that you're living in, the area that you're living in. See, is it really is it profitable for you to buy a house, or is it profitable for you to buy an apartment? It all depends in the area that you're living in. Or is it profitable for you to buy land, and can you actually invest much more on that land, and what kind of improvement you can do on that land to actually benefit from it. So it's all depends on the environment in the area that you live in the places that you live in, and yeah. So it's necessary that you do your homework. You have to do your homework to according to where you are living in. So if this is your first time, please subscribe and share this live as well, and share this video and give us a like so that we can have many requirements from YouTube, and then they can see that we are doing a job that will really encourage us so much. So I'll wrap it here. I hope this was really profitable for you. I hope you liked it. And just before I turn off, I would love to show you, how it is, the sunset there. It's so beautiful, isn't it? So beautiful. Um, it's so beautiful. So this is it. I was talking about the views yesterday, so this is how views are very important. here in the mountainous country. So that is it. So remember, once more, remember to subscribe. I'll be having some more lives. I think tomorrow I'm going to have another live on one of the project that's actually I'm dealing with. I hope you're going to like it. So please keep sharing with many people. And for those who have not watched this view live, I'm going to post it, and then please comment and like it. And God bless you. See you next time.